Hey everybody, Zach again, newtutorial.com, coming in, making a video for you today, and I'm having a great time making videos for the anti-missionaries. It just drives them nuts, and that just makes me happy inside. And so I've been doing this series, Defending Yeshua series, the playlist on my YouTube channel for quite a long time now, having a great time with it. And again, every time I do a video, it just sends them all into a tizzy. And I'm kind of done because I think I've addressed most of their issues. And I'm not saying I'm done 100%. Maybe, I don't know. For a while, I'm done. I wanted to end it with this video because I think that this is the best argument against the anti-missionaries arguments that you could possibly have. No matter what they say, this argument I'm giving you today, right here, right now, is probably the end-all, be-all of arguments when it comes to anti-missionaries. And so it's this. Really, the prophets have failed. I mean, you go back, if what you're saying is true, okay, if what the anti-missionaries, Scott Shub and Tovia Singer and, Jono Vandor and what's that other guy's name? What was his name? Jeff something. Anyway, all these guys, if all they're saying is true, then the prophets failed. The prophets have failed us. Rip up your Bible, throw it away, because the prophets have failed. Are you telling me the prophets failed to predict a man who would come on this earth and deceive the entire planet for thousands of years and deceive all these people away from the scriptures, from the Torah? Is that what you're telling me? Well, the prophets have failed. So you do the math, right? Let's get the scales here right now for a second here. And you have a whole bunch of Christians, let's just say Christians in general, they say, and I got this list off of Jews for Jesus, okay? It says, their credentials for Messiah being the Messiah is as follows. It says, Messiah was to be born at Bethlehem, Micah 5:2, and then Micah 5:1 in the Hebrew Bible. Messiah would be from the tribe of Judah, Genesis 49:10. Messiah would present himself by riding on a donkey, Zechariah 9:9. Messiah would be tortured to death, Psalms 22:1-31. Messiah would arrive before the destruction of the Second Temple, Daniel 9:24-27. Messiah's life would match a particular description, including suffering, silence at his arrest, and trial and death, and burial in a rich man's tomb, and resurrection, Isaiah 52:13-53:12. Now, I mean, that's just some of them. That's a handful of Christians' arguments of the credentials of the Messiah and how Yeshua met those credentials. Now, let's go ahead and look at the credentials, the arguments of, some of the arguments of the Jewish side, okay? They say this is from the Aish website, okay? Top 3 reasons that he is not the Messiah, that Yeshua is not the Messiah. It says Jesus did not fulfill the messianic prophecies, okay? There's a whole bunch of those, and they say it all fits. There's a big reason right there. He didn't fulfill the messianic prophecies. Well, they also say Jesus did not embody the personal qualifications of the Messiah. And they list a whole bunch of qualifications. So there's a whole big list there. And then they say the biblical verses referring to Jesus as the Messiah are mistranslations. So you see, folks, you have a whole list over here from the Christians who say he is the Messiah, and these are the reasons why. And then you have a whole list over here from the Jews who say he's not the Messiah, and here are the reasons why. What's missing here? I think what's missing here is any of the prophets saying that a man would come and the whole world would believe that this guy wasn't the Messiah, but he's not the Messiah. Don't be deceived. When this guy shows up, don't be deceived. The whole world will be deceived. The whole world will fall for this for thousands and thousands of years. Billions upon billions of people will fall for this guy. Billions and billions of people over the centuries. For thousands of years. And no one mentioned this. The prophets got a lot of stuff right. I mean, in fact, we can't find things that the prophets really screwed up on. No, in fact, we know Isaiah predicted that Cyrus would rebuild the temple, and he did. Isaiah predicted that Assyria would invade, and they did. Daniel predicted that predicted the entire Greek Empire. That happened. Jeremiah predicted the Babylonian captivity for 40 years, and that happened. And Ezekiel predicted the destruction of Tyre. And that happened. So you go through the list and you find instance after instance of major and minor prophets and their prophecies coming true. But no mention of a guy that for thousands of years is going to deceive billions upon billions upon billions of people as being the Messiah. No, that's not there. The prophets failed. The prophets failed. That's the only conclusion you can come up with. How can you miss this? I mean, it's just crazy. You're telling me for thousands of years and billions of people that someone would come and deceive the entire world, and the prophets just didn't happen to mention that. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the deal. You have, in the book of Acts, 3,000 Jews in the second chapter who come to know the Messiah and believe. And you have people like Tovia Singer out there who says, oh, well, see, this was more of the Gentiles. This wasn't Jews. Jews didn't believe. It was Gentiles. No. The book of Acts, chapter 2, says 3,000 Jews. Okay? And then it says, and they continued steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine and fellowship, and in breaking of bread and in prayers. See, these are Jews, 3,000, and they continued steadfastly. Where's the prophecy? Where's the prophecy that says all these Jews and Gentiles the world over, billions of people, Jews and Gentiles, will be deceived by a false prophet who was not the Messiah? It says right there, they continued steadfastly. Ladies and gentlemen, it's as simple as this. The biggest piece of evidence that Yeshua is the Messiah is the lack of a prophet that says he's not. We'll leave it at that. Go home, read your Bible. Thanks.